is you can improve the performance by not using the UI for rendering, or using the command line. Now, before we begin, I'd like to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, leave comments, because the more people subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to more viewers. Those viewers join this growing community. They post their tips and tricks, and they can also post requests, which I'll personally review and then I'll share with everyone. I'd like to thank everybody subscribed so far this month. I'm very appreciative with all the trouble we're going through this month. I would like to thank everybody and hope to make it up to you pretty soon. With that said, on to the intro. Okay, so as you can see, the intro, it says Pro Linux Video Editing. Obviously, you don't have to be on Linux. It can be on Mac OS, or you can also be on Windows. And this process will be the same because Blender works on all those systems. Alright, so if you don't know what Blender is famous for being obviously a 3D, people model 3D objects on it. And now it's also used for 2D. You can also do like 2D, you can do animations. It's always had a very simple video editing part that was meant for people who have to do their modeling. They could simply put the scene into the VSE, that's video sequence editor, edit it, add some things, and that's it. That's basically what it was meant for. But for a while now, Blender has actually added some improvements. Obviously, it's open source, so people have also added some extensions and plugins to make it much better. I've been using it, I believe, since 2009 as my preferred video editor. Now, I'll explain to you why. 2009, my computer at that time wasn't very powerful, so when I was trying to edit videos, those applications always crash. Okay, no matter how low resolution was at the time, they always crash. Blender was the first one. Actually, no, that's not true. Another one was called OpenShot, which I did use for. That one was pretty good. That one only crashed maybe 2 times a week. Blender never crashed. I expected Blender to be very resource intensive, but it's surprising it worked pretty well. Now, when I finally got my first workstation, I didn't even go back to, because I thought, okay, maybe because I didn't have enough resources, I didn't have enough RAM, so I tried all the other video editors, and they were crashing. Even to this day, they still crash and whatever. And the only two which worked extremely well for me was, again, OpenShot and Blender. So then I just decided to do Blender stuff. I learned all the, all the little quirks and stuff, and I've been using it since. Another thing is because it's very stable in that things don't change. Of course, it's lacking some features, but I'm saying that's what makes it, I think, stable, in that they don't add features just for the sake of features. Now, one of the issues with Blender VSE specifically is that it doesn't use the GPU. It does use FFmpeg, but it doesn't use the GPU. Now, very recent, I think maybe 3 years ago or so, maybe a little bit longer or shorter, is that they allowed, if you use a specific codecs, I'm talking about H.264 and H.265, that one they allow multiple threading. So obviously, if you have multiple cores, CPU cores or threads, you can actually use that, so that will speed it up a little bit. But still, not having the GPU does hurt the. But I'm saying, for example, I can edit a 1-hour video, and it'll probably take me anywhere from 35 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on all the filters and stuff I've done. So that is not terrible, but I just know that it's way more quicker because I have 2 GPUs. I have the integrated graphic GPU and I have a dedicated GPU. Shame we can't use one or both, right? So, but however, I usually do I usually run everything on the command line, and that works extremely well. For my video editing needs, it's very simple. In fact, I could probably just do everything with FFmpeg, but I like having the viewer. I like to be able to physically. I like to be able to see stuff and then run it out. So sometimes I've created some Python scripts where you can simply. I open up Blender, I create some markers, and then I use Python to say, okay, this part here I render from Blender, and then the middle part, because I usually put just an intro and an outro. So I said the middle part, just copy that with FFmpeg, so that way it's much faster. I saved a significant amount of time for that. But if a video is only like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't bother doing that. But if it's something like an hour, whatever, I do think, and sometimes I do use it, but sometimes it's just more convenient to have everything in the GUI and set it and forget it. Now, before we go, I have some news to share. It's sad news. So the glasses finally appeared yesterday, surprisingly at night. So that's part of the sad news. They're fine. I haven't opened them yet. I was gonna do maybe an unboxing. I might still do that. I think I'll hopefully try to do that maybe tomorrow or maybe tonight. Now the bad news. So yesterday I went to the chicken coop and I picked up a lot of eggs. Everything is fine, and because it was a little bit warmer, even the grows, they picked outside when I actually went outside. What I didn't realize, what the grows did is that they made another hole. And I'll explain to you why that hole is very important. So today, in the morning, again, it's yesterday I think we had some freezing rain, but it was pretty warm. So today I go, as I get closer to the hoop coop, I hear nothing. I'm thinking, oh, that's not good, because usually the girls start making noise as soon as I get out of the house. So I'm thinking that's not good. So I go inside and I see them all lying down. One had the head clipped right off. It was a gruesome scene. And then I realized exactly what happened. What the girls did yesterday when they let them out, they dug some hole, or they punched some holes in the covering, and I'm guessing some draft came in and they were not smart enough to go to a warmer place. They just stood around, and in fact, instead of going inside the big nesting box or even a small nesting box, they just sat there. And I don't know if they froze to death, because the ground is not frozen or anything. I don't know. I think just the draft got to them. And so all of them died. So I have no more chickens. So I'm pretty gutted with that. So it looks like this event must have happened probably even when I was doing the live stream yesterday. So because the reason is because there was very little poop in there. So I'm guessing around so that it must have happened then. I'm really gutted. So it's like it was so close to spring, where so I won't have chickens for a while. And more bad news, my car would not start. So I'm like grounded here for a while. I don't even feel like calling the CAA or whatever to come and take a look at it. I think it's an alternator. I have to take a look at that. Yeah, it's just more bad news. So I'm hoping, usually bad things happen to me 3 at a time. Usually 3 at a time. So what I'm hoping for is the glasses, the car not starting, and then the chicken. That's 3. And I'm hoping everything will just it's rock bottom, and now I can just go up. I actually got a nice message from, I think it was Twitch. I believe it was Twitch or Kick. Somebody said, I like your positive message. I said, thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for that. I believe it was Kick. Let me just double check. Yeah, it was Kick. It's from Mike Phantom, says love and positivity. Thank you very much, Mike, for that. I really need that today, especially. All right. So now, and obviously some new, I've noticed I've gotten a bunch of followers on Twitch, Kick, and Apple Podcast as well. I would like to welcome all of you and thank you very much. And I said I'm going to keep positive, because I'm just going to keep positive, just keep on working, and hopefully things turn around soon. All right, so back to this one. So some people think that with Blender you need a very powerful workstation. You actually do not. I'm saying depending on your workflow. So I said before, I've been using Blender even on a very low powered system. In fact, on the laptops as well, I've used it, and it works fine. Now, you just have to be careful. Obviously, do not, like I said, I've been able to edit an hour video on my workstation. Obviously, can handle that. But for example, if you have a low spec like laptop, those ones that might not even come with an integrated graphic, or it might be too low powered. So I'm just saying that obviously get an older version or something like that, just to make sure you have. I'll show you all my settings as well. So so I have a Ryzen 5 5600 GT. Obviously the G, that means integrated graphics. I have 32 gigs of DDR4 memory. Now, the integrated graphics uses 4 gigs of that, so then I remain with 28 gigs. However, I also have ZRAM. The reason is because I load some very large language models for AI. So what happens is I decide to take of the remaining 28 gigs, 16 gigs is I implemented ZRAM. So what ZRAM does is it takes that 16 gigs and it compresses it about 2 to 3 times, meaning that I can now load much more in that before it hits the. I also have a swap file, so a dedicated swap file. So I was able to make my swap file smaller. I made the swap file 24 gigs. So that ZRAM, it's kind of a swap, but instead of going down to the slow SSD, it will stay into RAM. Obviously, it will be there's a little penalty, but it's much more worth it. Now, what I plan to do all along is I was hoping that the memory prices would drop when I built the system last year. So then I would load up on the RAM and obviously get some storage. But the prices are just going up and up and up. So I don't feel like getting ripped off. So I'm just going to wait. So if for the entire life cycle of this particular workstation the RAM prices stay up, then I'll use what I have. So the good news is you guys will benefit because you'll see me squeezing all the performance and all those things. Everybody benefits, especially if you have a low spec device. Alright, so I'm also using Fedora 43 workstation. I'm using a GNOME 49 desktop. And it comes with Wayland. So obviously that's not very good for if you're trying to get as much performance as possible, but for me it works fine for me. But I recommend maybe using a tiling manager or something like that. Use, for example, JWM or use OpenBox. That would reduce about 50%. You get about 50, actually more than that. Especially if you're on idle, you may even go down to 0. When you're on GNOME, it never goes down to 0. So that's another way to squeeze more performance if you're on Linux. So I have Blender 5.0.1. So I'm going to use this, and I said I'll show that to you guys as well. I got it from the repository. You can obviously download it from blender.org, or you can get like a Flatpak, or So there are many options to where you can get it. So what you do need, it says here, you need a minimum of 8 gigs of system memory is required for basic tasks. The graphics card for multi-support, OpenGL, and Vulkan. Obviously, things are going towards Vulkan, so I'm really put my hopes up on Vulkan. Vulkan has been really nice for AI and stuff as well. So I'm crossing my fingers so that I'm talking about there will be some improvements, so everybody will benefit. This will allow you to use an old GPU and no longer support and all that as well. In fact, Blender, I think the latest version, they have enabled Vulkans by default. Before you had to go and turn it on, but I think they've now enabled it by default for the viewport rendering. So hopefully they said there'll be some tweaks here for like video. I know they have done stuff for images and AI, but I'm talking about like an image, video part. So this is what I suggest. What I suggest you have at least a 4-core system. If you don't, I said use a much older version of Blender, maybe like the 2.8 series or even before that. It will still work. And so I would recommend at least having 4 cores. I have a Ryzen 5 which has 6 cores and 12 threads. The memory, I recommend at least 8 gigs of RAM because obviously you're going to be running your system and you might have some web browsers and other stuff open as well. So 8 gigs just to be comfortable. I have 32 gigs, but I said it's 28 gigs. Actually, it's even less than that because, for example, like right now I'm using OBS. I have Social Stream Ninja. I have some web browsers open. I have Zed, where it's a markdown file. I'm reading this stuff to you, and obviously I have the file manager open here. And and I also have my Thunderbird open for my mail client, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like obviously, I'm not gonna have the entire 28, but it's well comfortable within here. And then whatever your operating system is, just make sure you can at least have obviously glib, C, and obviously Python, because that's what Blender does use. I said I'm using Fedora 43 with Wayland. I already have that. Okay, so with Blender VSE, I've seen a lot of tutorials, and the tutorials used to overwhelm me because people would have all these shortcuts. Sometimes they would even use their own custom shortcuts. So that's perfectly fine, but that was way too advanced. So because sometimes, like, even though I'm a programmer and I do shortcuts, obviously in my favorite IDE, for example, like NetBeans, now Z, I'm learning some, and etc. The point is that sometimes if I don't use an application for a while, I might forget those shortcut keys. So what I'm saying is that I like to have a GUI, a UI where I can simply use the mouse. Now, so I'm going to be the only person who's going to show you how to use the mouse, so you don't have to memorize all the shortcut keys. So because I think shortcuts, if you're using just the keyboard, I mean the keyboard is fast, but I'm saying if you're only using the keyboard, what happens is if you forget stuff, you won't feel like opening up the application. Be like, oh, I don't remember. For example, this is like Vim, right? Vim is very powerful. It's very lightweight, but you're thinking, oh man, what is it? How do I do this in Vim? How do I search in Vim? It's the same thing. So I'll show you how to add the speed control. I think depending on your version, the speed control effect might have been removed, which is a shame because they want us to use these retiming keys. The problem with retiming keys, they work perfectly in the viewport. When you try to render, they mess things up. So one workaround is they said you can uncheck the sync pitch or something like that, but I've tried them and it still did not work properly. So I'll show you how to use the retiming keys. We will do some fades, and then to output, just to go to the command line, I'll show you a very simple way to do this, and basically run it in the background. You guys, if you guys are my followers, you've seen some of my other videos, especially the Blender Python API, where you can easily use the -b for background, and then obviously we're using Python here, but you can also, because I also have a book called Mastering Blender Python API. So that book, the examples obviously for modeling, there's creating plugins, obviously there's a VSE as well, scripting as well. So you can do that as well. All right, so so basically today what we're going to do is we're going to create a transparent video. I've done actually one where I used, I believe, the Blender Python API to create a transparent video. But today we're going to create one using just using Blender itself and export it. So that will give you guys a way to understand how all this stuff works. All right, so just one more screenshot there, and then this live stream. So I'm going to stop it right there. So again, if you want to get Blender, it's at blender.org. You see, Blender 5.0 is here. You can go read about it. You can read about it. I said it's a 3D modeling application, but it does have VSE, and I'll show that to you in a second. So in the menu here, we see. Let's go to features first before we go to the menu. So here's the features, rendering. Obviously, that's it from the view layout. Modeling, sculpting, animation and rigging, and story artist, and the VFX, and simulation, pipeline, video editing. You see, let me read more on the video editing. You see, Blender comes with a built-in video sequence editor. I already explained this. Allows you to perform basic actions like video cuts and splicing, as well as more complex tasks like video masking or color grading, and live preview. Yeah, you guys can see. I'm not going to read all of it, but you guys can see all that as well. Audio mixing, grading, preview. Right. So it's all the documentation seems to be a little bit lacking here, but yeah, you can do that, all of that. And now let's go to the download page. You see, I'm on Linux. Obviously, found out I'm Linux. You see, version 5.0.1. I said I'm using Fedora. Fedora is famous for ours having up-to-date packages, and there's also 5.1 that's beta right now. I think that was just released, I think, just 2 days ago, and you can also get the long-term support releases. Now, if it crashes on your system, definitely get one of the long-term support releases. So as you can see, the latest long-term support releases is 4.5. Now, if you're using 4.5, my book Mastering Blender Python, that's what it was based on. So everything in the book will work with Blender 4.5. With Blender 5, there's been some breaking changes, so some of the stuff will not work. What I'm doing is I'm just waiting to see if there's if the book is popular enough, then I will be able to update it with the Blender 5. But I also want to add some grease pencil stuff to it as well. Just a second here. Just a minute. I need to start something. Okay. Yeah, this came out as well. All right. So if you're in a live chat, your chat will appear right here, somewhere around here. All right. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how I install Blender. I'm going to open up the software center. I obviously installed it on the command line. One thing I found really annoying though is when I install Blender. Because Fedora detects that I have an AMD GPU, so they also install ROCm. Now you might say, why is that? Well, the problem is my GPU is AMD Instinct MI60, which is no longer officially supported. In fact, in Blender, Blender removed OpenCL support because of all the bugs they were encountering with AMD. So unfortunately, although ROCm is installed and it's working, it doesn't work in Blender. So if I use a cycles renderer, I can't use ROCm, which is, as I said, OpenCL. All right, so in here, I just click on search and I just type Blender. I spelled it correctly. Oh, this is slow. Is the internet slow? Isn't it funny how on my Starlink system I enabled the what's that feature? The snow melt. Oh yeah, it's snowing again. Oh man. Yeah, so here's Blender. You see it's already installed, and as you can see here, I installed it from Fedora RPM package from Fedora because I didn't use the flat pack from Fedora, and I didn't use the FlatHub version. I just used the one from Fedora repos. Now, one thing I found that in Fedora 42, when I installed that version of Blender, it wasn't able to render H.265, but this one in Blender 43 can. So if you're having the same issues, you can just update. Obviously, you can use the Flatpak as well. All right, now I'm going to start up Blender. Let's see. This is what Blender looks like. I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller. So as you can see, I already have some presets here, but we're not actually gonna. So you can simply go to, which one is it here? Video editing. You can just click video editing, and it'll take you to this place right here. No, I cannot. I have to maximize it and then minimize it. Okay. So I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller so you guys can see everything. Don't worry, I'll make it really simple. You don't need to see too much, but that should be enough. Okay, that should be enough. Yeah, that should be perfect. Okay. So, oh, I guess I gotta make this smaller so you can see the timeline. Okay, I'll make this a little bit smaller. Not too. That should be enough. Yeah, that should be enough. If you're on a vertical screen. So. You can obviously drag and drop stuff into here as well, and I'll show you that in a second. So for example, you see I have this AI generated stuff for testing, so I'm going to drag some of this stuff in here. For example, I can drag this one, you can see, you see there, and we have some transparency in the, because this is I think a perfect square, so it doesn't fit the default 1920 by 1080. So we'll, yeah, so I'll just delete it for now. I just hit the delete key. But don't worry, I got you guys. I said I'll show you how to do everything with the mouse. So before we do that, one thing you should always do is obviously check your settings. So we go to File, and we go to where's Preferences here. Is it Edit? Oh, sorry, it's in Edit. Edit Preferences. So you see in edit preferences, you say save and load. You can change those if you want. The one I'm trying to look at is system. You go to system, and you see under system, I do have RockM installed. You can see even here it says AMD HIP 6.0 requires no compute GPUs found for cycles. It says requires AMD GPU with RDNA architecture. Obviously my GPU set is old, it's actually Vega 20, so none of this is going to work. And it says you need RockM HIP runtime. Obviously I have 6.4, so this should technically work, but it's not going to work. And then obviously CUDA, if you have an NVIDIA GPU, you take down, or you can pick none. So I'm by default you want to HIP, but I said it doesn't work. Then below that it says display graphics. This is for the viewport. You see by default now it uses Vulkan. I didn't change this, but you can also use OpenGL. So Vulkan is way better. So just stick with Vulkan. And the device, you see I do have two GPUs. I said the first one here is integrated graphics. The second one is the dedicated graphics. So this one, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I should actually use the. Next time I do Blender Python stuff that's really heavy, I'll use the dedicated one. And then after that, that's basically all you need to do. Oh, there's one more thing. If you scroll down, it says memory and limits. Where is it here? Right here. Under video sequencer, that's what we're doing. You see it says memory cache limit. You can obviously, I put it to 6 gigs. You can put it whatever number you want. I think by default it's 4096, so just increase it a little bit if you can, or decrease it if you are running low as well. So that's the first thing there. Next, save our output. So we click on in this properties area aside. I click render, and then I'm going to make this bigger so we can see what's going on here. Now you can see the render engine is Eevee. It doesn't matter. Okay, so the sample 16, that's fine, and the rendering will be 64 because better quality when it renders. That's perfectly fine as well. And you go to film, and you see transparent is unchecked. So I'm going to click transparent because remember I said we're going to render a transparent video. So I'm going to click on transparent there under film, and then I'm going to click on output, the output aside. So you see here it says frames are going to be 250. That's fine. I'll show you another another place to change it. And the file, it's going to be in the temp folder. So I'm not going to put that. I'm just going to put / what should I call this one? Oh, tutorial. I'll just say video tutorial. You can call it whatever you want. Tutorial. Yeah, tutorial. And I'll put a hyphen so that Blender always puts the number of frames at the end. It will append a postfix. So / means it's going to be relative to where the blend file is. Okay, then media type. Because I remember we chose the video editing. You see media type, you can pick images, multi-layer, EXR, or video. I'll leave it as video. You see right now there's only black and white and RGB. Okay, so you might say, wait a minute, a transparent video is going to be RGB, and you're 100% right. I'll show you how to fix that in a minute. So color management, we don't need that. Pixel density, if you want to get better. So let's go to encoding. You see by default it's going to use MPEG-4, that's MP4. For that does support transparent video, but there's a very specific things you have to do which Blender does not support. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick WebM, and then for the video here, instead of using H.264, we're going to pick VP9, WebM VP9. So you see what happened, as soon as I picked that one, under the color here, now we have RGBA. So I'm going to pick RGBA. And what else is here? Everything else is fine. The quality, you can pick very high quality or constant bitrate. Medium is fine. That's good for speed. And encoding is good. I'm going to pick real time because I want to do really fast. And everything else I'm going to leave the same. The sound, audios, ACC. If you don't want sound, you can just simply pick no audio. For example, my subscribe animation, obviously there's no audio, so I picked no audio. So in this case, I will leave audio because I'm not sure where we're going yet, so that's perfectly fine. So that's it, we're done there. Next, let's go back to this. So let's save this file. So it's a good idea to save. So go to File, Save As, and make this a little bit smaller. So you see, I'm going to save it in the videos. What did I call this again? I think I called it video tutorial. Yeah, okay, there we go. Save as. Okay, so I've saved this. That's important as well, but because when we render it out, it will. So Jaya Kathi says, "Hi, sorry late to join your stream." No problem, man. No problem. You can always rewatch it again from the beginning. There's actually, I spent the beginning part talking about some of the, I guess, sad news that happened to me. Yeah. And I'm hoping I hit rock bottom and everything will be positive from going now. At least no more drama. All right. So now we can, again, I say you can drag your assets in here, videos and what do you call it, audio, and obviously pictures as well. It supports everything. I think the only one it doesn't support is AVF files. It does support pretty much, even it supports H.265 as I said, so the only thing it doesn't support is I think AV1, not AV1, AVF files, which are based on AV1. Alright, so now we're here. Now we can start adding some content. So just click on the add here. We'll go to add, and then we can, you see, you can pick a scene, you can pick a clip, you can pick a mask, movie, sound. This is one, usually an image sequence. If you have multiple images, it will do that for you as well. You can add a color, text, adjustment layer, effect strip. So under effect strip, you notice here that, speed control is still around. Oh, I thought they removed it. Oh, I know. They were going to remove it, but I guess the community said, no, don't remove it. Yes, because the retiming, as I said, there's a bug, so they still left it in here. Alright, then there's transition and fade. So the reason those are grayed out is not because it's a bug, it's because there's nothing there. There's nothing there on our timeline. So let's add some stuff on our timeline. I'm gonna make this just a little bit smaller, so just enough so we can read 1, 2, 3 here as well. So just go to the add menu, go to movie, and in the movies, as you can see, I do have some videos here. So I'm going to add just some random stuff. I'll add, what should I add? Let's add the, okay, I'm going to add this one. Oh, that's such a long time ago. It's almost two years ago. So I've clicked on the add. I'm going to show you some options here before we add it. So you see here, if I put move scripts, what's going to happen? It's going to bind to my mouse. So when I click on the mouse somewhere, that's where it will dump it. So that's a good feature. But personally, I don't like it. But I'll show you that feature in the future. Right now, I'm just going to uncheck it because then it says, where do you want it to start? I want to start at, that's fine. It's going to start at 0. And then it says replace selection. If you don't want sound, you can enable sound here as well. Then it will just be just the film strip by itself. So. And there's also this option with scales to fit. That's fine, so I'll click add. You see it adds it right there. It's perfect, exactly what I want. Now if I want to split the video and the audio, what I do is I just right click on one of them, right click, and you see I can pick disconnect strips. So right now they're attached together. If I want to disconnect them, I can do that. That is actually very important, especially I learned that the hard way. If I'm trying to speed things up, it's always a good idea, especially right now, the retiming strips. So yeah, you can do that, and then they will be split. Disconnect strip, they will be, then you can drag and drop. I mean, drag it anywhere else. It won't be paired together. All right. So this video, this was way back in 2024 when I created the Learning JavaScript course on ojamboshop.com. Okay, so Now, to do cuts, as I said, we're not going to use the shortcut keys and whatever. What you can do is you put the timeline where you want. Let's say right here. And then what you do is you go to, make sure you've selected it. You go to strip. And you can see here we have this transform. We have the retiming. I'll explain those later. And then we have split and hold split. So if you don't know what this is the one is called it used to be called a hard cut and a soft cut. So a hard cut means it's split and it's completely separate. The other one is a soft cut. What that means is that in Blender, even if you cut it, you can still stretch it and you'll see more information. So I'll demonstrate both of them. So first one I'm going to do is this one, the hold split. You see, and I'm going to drag this guy up here. So I put it up here. Now what happens is if I drag the end here, can I not drag it anymore, or did they fix that? It might be the audio. Let me split this, disconnect, sorry. I'm going to get rid of the audio here. Should be able to, looks like I can now. Before you were able to, because this is the beginning, there's nothing in the beginning, there's nothing in the beginning. What I should do is I should actually go here and, okay, let me split this, or should be able to drag this. Did they fix that? Yeah, there used to be a weird thing where when you cut it, you were able to drag and you would see the old information, or maybe they reversed it. Let's try that again. Control Z to undo everything. Make sure this, this still cut, so undo. What is going on here? Pressing undo, it's not doing it. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of both of these and do that again. Okay, so I'll put the where I want, and then we're going to go to add. So we're going to demonstrate. I think they might have finally fixed it after there used to be a really annoying bug there. So let's pick that again. Okay, so I go here. This time I'm going to go to strip, and I'm going to use the split. Okay, then I'll grab this guy and put it up here. If I take this one, should be able to drag. Yeah, there we go. You see that? They reversed it. Okay, now it makes, yeah, you see that? Now I can drag it, see, and then this same information that I just cut there before, you can do that as well. So that I used to think that's a useless feature, but I'm guessing maybe if you cut somewhere, then you make a mistake and you say, oh, you know what? I didn't mean to cut that out. I still needed a little bit extra. This will allow you to do that. So it's like, and then this one as well, I should be able to drag it. And I should be able to extend it this way as well now. Yeah, there we go. Now I can extend it. So I guess they reversed the soft cut and the hard cut. They just renamed it. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then undo finally works. Okay, so I'm just pressing Control Z to undo, but you can simply go to Edit menu and just, you can see here, this is the shortcuts to undo. And you can also redo. Okay, so now that's the cuts. That's usually what I usually do the most. Next here we have this thing called since we're in the strip, might as well you can obviously move them. I just saw me move. I just use the mouse. Now we have this retiming. You see, there's a retiming key and all of this. So let me show you how I usually work. I grab this strip. And is this stuff here? Not strip, modify strip. You see, strip. They moved. It used to be on the just on the left here in the bottom, but they moved it up here. So go to strip, and it will tell you information about your strip. Obviously, you can see the name here, the source, and here it tells me what channel it's on. Obviously, there's two of them. I have the video and the audio there. and then it tells me where it starts. You see it starts at frame number 1 or position number 1, and the length is 4835. If you guys remember, I said that there's a way that you can reset the length instead of doing it in the output. So what you do, or render, so what you do is here, oops, wrong one here. So you see here it says start and end. You see by default it's 250, if you guys remember that. So here what I can do is I can take this number, for example this number is 4835, I can say 4835, and then what's going to do is the entire length of this is going to be actually it should be 6 here, because there's the starts at 1. It tells me right here 4365. So now that's where it ends. That's where the entire length of this guy is. So now if you don't understand what I'm saying, if you press the home key, it will show everything. It will zoom out and you can see, for example, how long this video is. You can see down here it's telling you what frame I'm at. Right now I'm 4130, so I can go all the way to the end, so that you press the home key to show everything in there, and that's the entire video. Now obviously when I edit videos I do it on a 4K monitor. I don't do it on a small screen like this, but I'm just doing this so you guys can see that yeah, it is possible. And you see it's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. Now if you want to change the resolution, let's go back to render. No, is it output? Oh, it was output. Yeah, I didn't check this. The output, it says it's 1920 by 1080, so you can obviously now one thing I can tell you this. This one also works differently now. Before, when you put 50%, it would do 50%. But what I've noticed is now, I don't know if the scaling algorithm they use is terrible, because what happens now is that oops, where's the microphone? Just a second here. The microphone looks to be off. Yeah, the microphone. Yeah. So if you pick 50% here, it will work, but it's gonna scale it down. It's gonna look really, really ugly. You're better off actually leaving 100% and just setting the resolution and the X and Y values there. That's a tip I'll give you. So for example, if I want half of this, which is I believe 1960 by what is it? 1960 by 540. Yeah, 1960 by 540. Instead of putting 50% here, just put 1960 by 540. You get way better quality, and if you leave this 100%, if you put this at 50%, it's gonna scale horribly. Yeah, it's really, really bad. It'll be like pixelated and stuff. It's really, really bad. Okay, so back here, let's speed this video up. So let's say this video is too long, and how much time has it been? Okay, we have time. So at 1 minute here, let's say I want to chop off a few minutes here. So what you can do is, I want to make this video short. You know what? I'll just make this video shorter. So what I do is just click on the video. You see, it's still combined as one, right? So then, if you remember, if we go to this strip, we can put retiming here. Or a better option is just to click on the strip properties here. And if you guys remember, it says show retiming key. So I'm going to click on that. And you see now it shows the retiming keys at the end here and also at the beginning. So it doesn't matter which way you go. So you can simply, let me zoom out. Oops. There we go a little bit. I always have to do that. So there we go. And then you can resize. You see, you can resize. You can resize it. Now, as you can see, the problem is if you're trying to do this to speed up the video, you want to do both of them at the same time. So what most people do, Control Z, what most people do is they select both of these, and then they go to, I believe it's add, and what is it, add, where is it here? Oh, is it strip again? Under strip, they should be, yeah, here, make meta strip. So it becomes one. Now, if I select it, so I select it now, if I click the show retiming keys, you see the retiming is now both the audio and the video will be at the same time. So for example, now I can, oops, come on, what is going on here? Ooh, I didn't expect that one. let's see if VSE will fix it. Oh, I forgot to save. After telling you guys to save, I forgot to save myself. So there we go. It crashed. Let's see if let's say to remember it crashed. Most likely because it's using the integrated graphics. I should actually use the dedicated graphics for this. So the good thing is we did save it. So let me just resize this first. Yeah, so I'll resize this again. Now obviously you can see Blender uses its own rendering, I guess a rendering engine or whatever you call it, the own window manager. So it's a little quirky. Now if we go to File, Open Recent, Video Tutorial, obviously, oh, this is where we left off before, so can I actually undo that? Or okay, so I'm just gonna delete both of these. It's fine, and I'll open up. Oh, the other way, you can also drag and drop the videos. I hope you guys know that as well. But we're using a mouse today, so I'll go open up the movie again, and it was a learning JavaScript movie. And you see, this is what I was telling you about, where if you don't specify, you have to. Now I do like the guidelines, so that's why I told you, like, I uncheck that option because I know exactly where I want it to go. All right, let me make sure I save this properly now. All right, now they're both selected, so you go to strip and click on make meta strip. Now it's one strip, and I'll make sure I save, and then this time I will just zoom out a little bit. Okay, this time another way. Actually no, let's say I want half of it, so I want half or whatever it is. So click on it, go to strip, and make sure show retiming keys. Now I should be able to don't use this one because that's the wrong one. I don't know what that one. So what you do is you want to drag. There we go. See there? Now I'll put it here, and I'm gonna save. Now here's a weird thing about this. If I hit the play button, okay, the play button here. So as you can see, both the audio and the video is going pretty fast, right? The weird thing about that is it plays perfectly fine in the viewport and all that, but if I try to render this, it's going to come out a little bit weird, and I'll show you that. So since this has shortened as well, so what I do is the meta strip. So remember we had 4,000 something. Now I'm going to set this to. You see, it was 4,836. Now I'm going to set it to 2045. So basically a little bit over half of the over half. And press the home key and fit everything in here. Now, as I promised, we need to make this transparent. So let's do that and finish this up quickly. So we want a transparent video. So the easiest way to make a transparent video is obviously, I'm going to grab this image. I can just drag it here, or I can obviously use the image. So this is image. Now the good thing about images is you can just click on the image and you can set the start time. So for example, you see here, I just dumped it here and it started at 332. So if I don't want that, I can put 1, and then I can also make it big. So what is our size again? 220/45. So I'm going to make this 2045. What I will do is 2044, and you see it will be the entire length. So if you remember, so this guy is above the, because it's on a top layer, it's above our video. So that's why we have that we have that as well. So I could use this as a transparent and render it out, but I'm going to show you. Hopefully this does work and things don't mess up. So I think I have my video for the. Let me see where that video is. The one for, because that's a video. I want to do some color remove the color. Is it here? Where can I find? Oh yeah, the subscribe button. I think it's black. Yeah, it's black. So let's I'll show you the subscribe button and how I got it rendered. How I'm gonna render it again, and I'll show you how I got it. What I did to it. Oh, you know what? Let me actually show it here. So I'm gonna delete this too. Just select and box select. Just use the mouse and hit the delete key, and then I'm just gonna drag. I can simply just drag it, and I think that might be better. Just drag it in here. You see, this is the video. It's a very short video. You can see it's just. Is it already transparent? Oh, it looks like it's already transparent. Oh no, that's a video. What am I doing? It's already transparent, so that's not. Okay, you know what? Let me undo. Okay, so now as I promised, I want to make this transparent, so it's only. How long is this? It's about a minute. Okay, that's perfectly fine. A minute is absolutely perfect. So you can add your whatever audio you want. Or maybe I should leave that audio. Oh yeah, I should do that. Okay, I got it. I know what I would do. I'll just have the audio plus this image and remove the learning JavaScript part. So let me click the home key. So basically I've clicked this, and then if you go back to strip, you see where it says unmeta strip. I made it unmeta strip. So, and then remember they're still connected together. You see that's why they're both selected. Just right click one of them and disconnect. So now they're disconnected, so I don't need the another option I have is, I just forgot, there's so many options. I'm going to take the video part here, right click on it, and then you can see you can do the same thing here. I want to mute it. You see it says lock mute. I'm going to mute strip. So you see I've muted the strip. Now guess what? It's transparent. We just have this, we have a transparent area, but the audio is going to play behind it. So that's perfectly fine. And remember, we saved our video is going to be what is it? So our video is going to have audio. Audio is going to be sped up. So that's I didn't have time to do transitions, but you can basically go here and add. You can add text. You can add color as well. So for example, text. Here's the text. You can put text here. Actually, I usually put it and then did I put text? Yeah, text. You see it says text. So let's actually change it from text to actually something useful. We'll call it transparent video. Okay, obviously you can change the color, you can change the size as well. So because it's white, let me see, does white look pretty good? Yeah, white is a little bit small. I think I might change that as well. So let me change the font, make it bigger. I'm just using the mouse to make it. As you can see, it says text there. Is this the name? It will not change twice. Oh, there we go. The wrong. I changed to the wrong place. Transparent text. You see it automatically wrap to the next line. So you can change the wrap. I'm going to change the wrap here a little bit. Oh, one is fine, I guess. Alright, so and then the color, that's fine. White is perfectly fine, but you change the color, obviously you can pick whatever color you want. Okay, that looks pretty hideous, but that's perfect. Alright, so that's good enough. That's good. Oh, let me make this, obviously, if you zoom in, you can also just drag to make it, you have to be able to grab it, so I'll show you that. No, it's still too small. Still too small. Okay, there we go. Fine, I can grab it and you can stretch it to whatever you want. All I said, you can simply go down and set the right here. If you watch what happens when I drag this, you see that? You can also set it to whatever, wherever you want. Oh, you know what? I should fade this in. We do have time. All right, let's fade this in. So you can go to add, because the strip is already selected. You go to add. And then there's effect strips. You see there's speed control, there's glow, there's Gaussian blur, and what's the other stuff in here? Did they change this again? Fade, fade, under fade. So I'm going to put fade in and out. That's the easiest one to do. So it's going to fade in, and you can see what happens there. It fades in. You can even see it right there, and then it fades out. So there you go, fade in and fade out. All right, that's basically what if I ever do anything like that. All right, so let me press the home key here, and what happened here? Oh, so even though this video is too long, so I'll show you how to cut this. Basically, you take the cursor and we go here. We want it to be about, was it 2 minutes? Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I could make this longer. Why is it 1 minute? What happened there? Oh, right. So it's 2 minutes still. This one is, so it's only going to render 1 minute. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut the rest off here. So I'm going to cut this here. If you guys remember, you go to, where was it? Under this one here. Make sure you make sure you select both of them. Go to strip, and we want the selector strips split into two. Split the effect strips into, so one is there, and then this part here, just press the delete key. That's it. That's good enough. Now it stays. How big is this guy? It's 2044 or 2045. That's perfect. So our strip is going to just basically go there from here to here. All right. So hit save. Now normally you go to render and you click render image. It's going to render one image. You can need render animation, and that's going to render your animation. But the problem, if you do that, it's going to be slow, because what it will do is it has to refresh. It has to draw the entire GUI or UI, and then plus, you see step by step, like a preview. So that's very slow. I'll show you a faster way to do that. This is pretty small, so it won't take too long, but I'll show you a faster way to do that. So just get out of Blender. Now I know that the video was saved here. You see right here it says video tutorial.blend. Remember, we put // and this is the backup, so we don't actually need that. But so I'll open up our, oops, I forgot to show you guys. So this is our video. If I double click on this, it will open up obviously in Blender, and you see that's what it looks like there. So we don't need that. But what I do is I just can use a console. I'm just going to open up in the console here, and I'll show you here. I don't even need to clean this up, but I will. Okay, so we'll clean this up a little bit, clear that. So all you do, let me zoom in. You type Blender, or whatever. So you can use the absolute path if you want. Blender space -b. -b is for background, meaning run in the background without opening up the UI. And then the name of our file, it's video tutorial.blend, and then -a. -a means do the animations. So now if you could also put something like output if you want to output to a different file, but because the blend file already has all my stuff, I just press enter, and you see it's using Blender 5. What did they say? Could not initialize streams, probably unsupported codec. Oh, because I put AAC. So let's fix that. I do remember that. Yes, that's actually true. So we'll fix that. Don't worry. It's a very quick fix. If you remember, in our output here, I did pick a WebM RGB. Yeah, that's correct, WebM. The problem I did is the audio. So audio, obviously, it can't be AAC. It has to be one of the free open sources. So I can use Vobis or Opus. So I'm going to pick Opus, and make sure you save. Okay. Now if I go back here, clear this. Now this should work. Yeah, there we go. So let me zoom out so you can read it properly. It shouldn't take too long. It's done already. You see how quick that was? this is basically how I edit videos. You see it's using Blender 5.01, and yeah, you see it, I said background, the name of the blend file, and -a, because I saved everything properly. You see it very, very, very quickly. And as I said, it was done because it's just a minute, so it should, oh, it's not done yet. So it's rendering here. This is actually slow. This is why I was saying Blender should, obviously, what did we do? Oh yeah, there's a fade. I forgot, I did add a fade effect, so that's probably one of the reasons it's slow. And what else did I do? There's audio. And, oh, it's transparent, I forgot. So yeah, so I forgot. I'll tell you why this is slow. This is slow because we're using VPN. VPN doesn't have multi-threading, it's single-threaded. So that's why, for example, even though it's only 1 minute, if I did this in H.264, it would fly. It would take literally just a few seconds. But this is because I'm using I'm using VPN. VP9. VP9 is single-threaded, so it's only using one. So here, I'll prove it to you. If I open up the system monitor, you can see here it only uses one thread. It doesn't use all the threads. The reason you're seeing all this other stuff here is because this is most likely due to I'm using OBS and I'm using FFmpeg to multi-stream. I'm also using Social Ninja Stream, as you guys saw it popped up here. It only uses one thread. If I was using H.264, these guys would be all close to 100% because it's at least 8 threads. But this guy is only single-threaded, so you see that's why I think it's probably. I thought something go up to, yeah. So it's not. They're hopeful that in Blender 6.0, which will come out either later this year or very early next year, they will finally have a GPU for the video sequence editor, and that will be fantastic. Fantastic. So this guy is taking way too long for just a 1 minute video. So because it's, as I said, it's clearly single-threaded. That's one of the unfortunate things. Now, my particular GPU, the dedicated GPU, it does have hardware decoding for VP9. It doesn't have encoding because obviously it's an auto. Okay, it's finally done. So you see, it took 2 minutes and 48 minutes. So if you want a transparent video, that's how long it does take. So this is now we have our transparent video. You can see. Remember the name I chose, video hyphen tutorial hyphen. That's all I did, and then this Blender automatically added the this part here, 0 to how many frames? 0 to 245 frames. 245 frames. So that's a minute. So let's play this guy and see what it looks like.
Introducing the learning JavaScript source course. JavaScript is a versatile programming language for beginners or those who need to program. JavaScript has a simple syntax and is easy to read, making it a great language for fast learners to learn. JavaScript is used in web development, data science, machine language, artificial intelligence, and scientific computing. JavaScript is open source, can be used by beginners, intermediate, and experienced programmers.
In case you're wondering why this is black here, the reason is because it's transparent. So I need to put, if I put it on something that's a different color, like white, it should show up as white, and I'll prove that to you in a second. So I don't want to hear all that. So I think I should be able to open this up in a browser. So I'm going to try the Chromium browser here. I should just be able to drag it and it should play. If the Chromium browser will, I should just be able to drag it into here and it should automatically just play. So we'll try that. So I'm just going to put it here so you guys can see it. Should be just drag it, it should play. There we go.
Introducing the learning JavaScript source.
Okay, so I'm gonna change the background here just to show you that it does work. It is transparent. So the body here, it doesn't. So am I in the body? Okay. So I'll just give it a style. Oh, here I'll give it the HTML a style. Can I? No, I can't. Okay, so that's fine. I'll just give it a background. let's say green. You see that? I just gave the background a green color just to show you that the video is transparent. You see that? So the video is transparent. This part you see here, you can also remove this if you're using the video tag, but you can see the video is transparent. This is just to prove you that it is a transparent video. Obviously, I should have done a little bit more and whatever, but you see it's transparent. All this part here is transparent, and it does play.
Of course. JavaScript is a very experienced programmers. Then I'll go to my account content here. So what you do is you go to page content, you go here to the submenu.
Yeah, just about a minute. It should be done soon. So that's Blender VSE. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And
page content, in this case, it's the JavaScript course.
Yeah.
You go here, and then you have.
There we go. Okay, that's basically all I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so let's finish this tutorial up, and I'll let you guys be on your way. All right, so if you want to take your skills further, professional resources are available to help you master these advanced creative tools. Visit the links below to access specialized training and support services. For example, I have books. They're available on Amazon. For example, one of the books I said is Mastering Blender Python API, where I actually edit. There are examples of editing the video using simply Blender and Python. Obviously, you don't need to use Python, the API. Any coding, you can simply go and do it yourself. But I said that's one way. And there's also programming books. Let's say the JavaScript, as we saw here. There's PHP. There's also Python. Okay, and then I also, you can search for Ojambo. The links are also in the description. I also have courses on ojamboshop.com. The same courses, JavaScript, Python, PHP, Python, PHP. Yeah, those three of them. And then the link is also in the description. I also offer one-on-one tutorials at ojambo.com/contact, or if you want consultation services, you can contact me at ojamboservices.com/contact. Alright, so I do have some other recommended resources. Hopefully today I'll be able to add a few more here. I have some news I'll probably share in tomorrow's tutorial, or tonight if I have time to do one. So the first one is this novelette. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. It's a novelette about, see, I'm the author, Edward Jambo. It's about an AI scientist who creates an AI system and loses his mind, so he has to regain control of his mind and AI system. And this is the back. This is the paperback version. There's also an ebook, which I will talk about in a few minutes. My greatest one is this Recession Business Blueprint. If you ever want to start a business, the best time to start a business is during a recession. Everything you need. So this book is a guide to help you start a business. So whether you're looking for how to budget, whether you're lacking a skill and you want to go back to school. For example, me personally, I knew basically everything, but I was not comfortable with marketing, so I actually went back to school. I went back to a local college called Hamburg College, and I did take I got a diploma there for, it was a business manager, but I only cared about the marketing part. I learned quite a lot. It was actually worth it. And then when I started the business, I was more comfortable doing everything myself. So what I'm saying is that sometimes you do need some help. Sometimes you may be, for example, like me. I'm a programmer now, but when I started, I wasn't. I knew how to program stuff only for myself, but I wasn't comfortable doing things for others, right? So I'm saying is that those are the type of skills that I had to learn, and I'm saying is that there was no resource for me to, because here's an example. When I started the business, I talked to so many people. I wanted to be programming to fix things, right? So everybody was telling me that, oh, you need to just outsource it to some place in India or Philippines or whatever, right? And I was like, no, I want to do a niche. So my point is that, here's another one. People are telling me that I need to support Flash websites. I knew Flash. Oh, this is a scam. Just a second. Ed speaking. yeah, like I don't know what to say. So what I was saying is that whether it's budgeting, going back to school, where to start the business, like for example, should you run it from home, should you run it from your garage, should you rent a place, how many people should you hire, if you need help, all that is in the Recession Business Blueprint. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. Now, for all my books, you can, they do have ebook versions. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can actually you can read them for free or get them for free. So take advantage of that as well. If you have any questions, you can always contact me. I'll show you different ways you can get in touch with me. Just to give me a minute. So this is me. I'm a software engineer. I'm also an author, and hopefully I'll be an influencer. And if you want to explore my books, I have a bookshop page on Amazon. And if you need support, you can contact me on jumboservices.com. I've already explained that for any consultations. And if you're ready to learn, on jumboshop.com. All right, and then I have a comment form here. This stays about 14 days after an article goes live. For example, today it's going to be up for the next 13 days after today, of course. So obviously the topics which I would like to see or are allowed are obviously depending on the topic. Today we talked about Blender, we talked about video editing, we talked about the Blender VSE specifically. So all those are perfectly fine. If you don't like it, you think it's slow, it's terrible, just perfect, put it in the comments, right? That's what it's for. Now, remember I told you about contact me. The best way to contact me is to use the contact forms. There's ojambo.com/contact, ojamboshop.com/contact, and ojamboservices.com/contact. Now, if you want to follow me, these are the channels: Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. All right, and then for all those channels, I'm live streaming to them right now in real time. All right, now back to the outro. Oh, before we go to the outro, I would like to remind you that you should subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments, because the more people subscribe, the more this content gets pushed out to more viewers. Those viewers join this growing community. They post their tips and tricks. They can post requests, which I'll personally review, and then I'll share with everyone. I'd like to thank everybody subscribed so far this month. We are still on a record, a new record for the number of subscribers in a month, and the month is not even over yet. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I said, despite all the tribulations I've had recently, I am staying positive. And you guys will see. I'll bounce back very quickly. You know, the chickens, the car, the glasses, no problem. We'll be back. All right. So on to the outro. I'll move up here. So if you guys want to see what's upcoming, simply go to jumbo.com, go to watch menu, live sub menu. You see we've just finished this one, the Blender VSE. Tomorrow we're going to have a podcast talking about using AMD for AI for beginners. So it's going to be a masterclass. I'm going to talk about RockM. I'm going to talk about Comfy UI. I'm going to talk about locomotives and all of that for 2026. Okay, as I said, I personally, you guys will benefit, because personally I am limited in the amount of memory. I can't even get a bigger SSD, so you guys will benefit, especially if you have low spec devices or want to learn a lot. Then the day after that, we're going to use local AI to create a procedurally create a robot arm in Blender, and then we're going to fix the code that comes out there, because before, what I was doing is I would let the local AI generate something, don't critique it, and the next day then I would fix it. So some of you might be wondering where that code come from. So today, in 2 days time, I'll fix the code in real time, and you guys. So that's another way you guys can learn about Blender as well, how to resolve some of those things, and I'll show all that as well. Then the day after that, we are going to. I'm going to show you my system, my Fedora 43 system. I haven't done an update on I haven't done an update in a while. I think it's probably 2 months, so I'll do an update on how everything is going. I've already given a hint. I'm lacking in the memory part and storage, but I'll show you how I'm managing with that. And then after that, I'll show you the LTX2. If you remember, I did a nice stream where I did the LX2 video in ComfyUI and it took like 23 minutes. So I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks in order to speed it up, so that instead of we'll go from almost half an hour, we'll drop it down to 5 minutes. So I'll show you all of that as well, and that's after that. And then I will add some other stuff in here, just so make sure at least there will be 5 all the time, despite what happens. All right, now with that said, I don't think there was any more live chats except from Jay Akrathi. Thanks for joining the live chat, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day. Okay, first I'll reply to Jakathi. Hey, thanks for joining the live chat. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't.